Good day, good love, and great light, illuminators and way showers, ringing in the bell of this amazing, powerful 33 12 21 2024 solstice, the longest night of the season here in the Northern Hemisphere, and also welcoming the summer for our friends in the Southern Hemisphere. So what a beautiful, powerful day it is. If you're new to the channel, I'm Wendy. This is my husband, Dave. And our greatest joy and excitement is to share our highest expressions of the languages of light, the idea that everything in creation speaks its own beautiful, unique language of light, including you. Illuminators like you are those of you who are bright enough and brave enough and bold enough to be yourselves. The brighter you shine being your true self, the more you show the way for another to illuminate their own light, shine their brightest gifts and abilities, to express limitlessness in every way that we can. That Dave and I are excited to share. Being the solstice, and I'm always I'm always excited about the number of vibrations. And so when I see 12/21/2024, I see 3 and 3, 33, and immediately, my heart goes into that idea of the 33, the crystalline consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the Trinities, what that means to all of us, how all over the world people celebrate this day, or depending on where you are in the world, the solstice in a variety of ways all over, and have been for probably millennia, that we're not even aware of. And today's date, one of the things I like to share also about the numbers is today's date equals 14. And if you are familiar with the sacred circuitry from thru Bashar, today's date, the symbol for 14 is connect. So once again, we're being invited to connect. Dave and I have been deeply resonant in the idea of gathering, creating gatherings, and more gatherings like this. We're not sure. I wasn't sure which channel we were going to post this on. So my main channel is Languages of Lights on YouTube, and I also have a website.com. We'll of course put all the links to that. I also do private sessions. I assist others with lighting up their own light language if that's something that interests you. Activating, illuminating belief systems that aren't serving you through the light language, through the oracle, through channel messages that may come through, and connecting, deeply connecting. And even Bashar has talked about recently about us connecting, gathering in more and more ways that we can, and specifically also in person. So
and we like to use oracle cards and pick oracle cards, and we have lots of oracle decks that Wendy's had many, and I've participated in picking some out. We use them as a path of least resistance to receiving messages, and while we certainly don't need oracle cards to receive our messages and to share our messages, it's fun, and that's why we do it. It's fun and exciting, and I don't really know why. I'm not sure if you know why it's fun, but it's fun, and that's why we do it.
We're always, all of us are always, whether we realize it or not, asking questions to our universe, our higher self, our inner being, however, source, God, angels, whoever you check in with as your spirit guides. Maybe it's nature spirits. Perhaps, like today, I was being guided. I heard the word unicorn today, so I was like, oh, I'm going to grab my unicorn deck, and I'm going to just, grab a card from the unicorn deck, and it happens to be today's card that turned up was miracles. So very interesting. And when I think of the solstice, and this is the Oracle of the Unicorns. When I think of the solstice, of course, I think of, for me, I think of beautiful colors in the sky, and of course, the longest night. And here's a picture of on the back of this card of the Aurora Borealis. So I thought, I don't know, it just felt very fitting. And this card, Miracles. It's hard to see without a light behind me. Have faith that your miracle is on its way. Your prayers have been answered. Surrender the how. So this is a perfect example of our higher selves showing us that the miracles come when you have faith that they're already there and that it's already been answered. And the how is not our business. It's not responsible. Our brain is not responsible for the how, and that's where we really get caught up in the conundrum, whether it's the how of the finances, the how of the physical abilities, the how. There's always, how am I going to do that? How? We have to figure out, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? And the way to do that is to be yourself. And following that joy is what creates the miracles, because you're illuminating also the light of another and exciting them to be their truest selves. In addition to, when we're doing these readings, a lot of times information will come through light language, which it's like an extension of the information that comes through the oracle, and it is a vibrational message that rarely needs translation. It's like, but yet I hear, you are the creator of your miracle. You are the miracle in which you seek. We often ask our guides and our angels, please send me a miracle, please send me a miracle. But recognizing now, as we ascend as higher vibrational beings, that we recognize we are the miracle. And that is the illumination of that, is to recognize that you are the miracle you've been looking for and asking for. What you want to add to that? I know I can hear you.
Well, I wanted to welcome our new friend
hi,
Travis.
Thank you for being
who's
here today
with us.
So this is unusual.
And feel free to chime in anytime you want. Share anything you want to share. We don't get to. We actually don't usually have people in our room, so this is kind of exciting for the solstice today. So anyone else that might be joining us, we welcome you as well. We are not live on YouTube, which is different than we normally do, but we wanted to just do a little impromptu video and get together to talk about solstice stuff. And of course, 1221 is a reflective gateway.
Yes, it is.
And there's actually a Bashar event going on, so a lot of people are watching and participating in the Bashar event, and we wanted to join in the fun.
Oh, the next card that flipped over in the oracle deck was Strength. I really am gonna. I think I need a light, or I'm gonna have you read it, because I can't see them in the dark. These are really hard to see. This channel. Oh,
see how this works.
Okay, hang on. Anyway, here, I'll show it first. So, whether you're here in the room now, and thank you for bringing your energy today, or whether you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, remember that it's always your now, and these messages are always going to be for you in that moment when you need to hear it, whenever that may be. And this message is strength. This challenge will make you stronger. You will get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in the situation. And once again, I'm reminded, looking for the gifts in the situation, we discover our strength when we are able to move to the vibration of being in a positive vibration of seeing the circumstance that we're in a positive way, yet seeing it from a neutral perspective as well, which also is the perspective of the option of positive or negative. But when we can at least experience it from a place of centeredness and calm, that's where we discover our own strength. And when we can, part of evolution and ascension is recognizing that the power that you have in that now moment is your strength, and that is where you choose. In that moment is when we choose how we want to respond to that circumstance. And recognizing that is part of the ascension process. That once again, it is not happening to us, it is happening for us, by us. So, and again, the strength, the miracles come with you understanding, with all of us understanding our own personal strengths. And I've got my Bashar contact crystal on too, so I was kind of noticing that too, and I'm being reminded right now that they're all tuned in. They are all tuned in. So whether it's your spirit guides, and our galactic guides, and the Interstellar Alliance, and our angels, they are all present. And I'm reminded of that. I use this symbol as a first contact specialist. I use that symbol as my own representation also of contacting things in my own reality and my own oversoul, opening contact with me, with all of that. And by sharing that information, we illuminate that in others to say, hey, I am more than I thought that I was. My beliefs, if my beliefs drive my reality, how is that so? And how do I use that now moment as a place of strength and power? Anything you want to?
I was just thinking about the ISIS book that we have to share maybe some of those pictures.
Oh, great.
Do we have that?
Actually,
right
did
here?
I leave it on the table?
Yesterday we were participating in another gathering, and a lot of ISIS energy was going on and before that.
Well, I
Did we
have.
put it back?
Well, I have
We
the
have
journals over there, but you know what? I'm glad Dave said that because, so, I was getting. Let me show you too. We were being guided through a meditation, and I was also getting some symbols, which I wanted to show briefly on this page. So I was getting some glyphs and symbols last night, and so I was jotting them down during the meditation. And one of the things that I haven't really done a lot of lately, which I have been guided to do more frequently, is to share more and more of these connecting symbols. And so this one I drew was actually connecting, the message I got with this one was connecting to a parallel version of Earth. And the speakers was the energy that was coming through that day. And these are some of the symbols that were coming through that day. Is it on the?
It's on the floor.
Oh, I was saying I might have brought it over here. So these symbols are. Let me just show them just one more time, really close. Again, part of the language of the light of all that is. These are symbols that come through from other galaxies, dimensions, civilizations, what have you. But I also understand they're also my consciousness. And that was something else that was brought to my attention too, that it's almost as if I'm putting like components of my own consciousness coming through in paper and in symbols. And when you really zoom in, on each of them individually. They're so interesting and powerful. And then, of course, when you zoom out and you look at them from a larger perspective, of course, it's like looking at a whole page in a book, and yet when you zoom in, you can see a lot of the images, or a painting, for example, where you can zoom in and then see things that you didn't see when you were at an outer vision, say. So it allows us to zoom in and out of dimensions and our own consciousness.
And we have a lot of strong connections with Egypt and Isis, and a lot of times that energy comes to us, and it's I guess I really want to say really wants to show itself when it comes forth, and
Very strongly so.
so here's
That's
this is
a
just
really great image.
a picture from the
From the
Goddess
deck.
Isis journal, which is,
And this is the journal that comes with well, it doesn't come with the deck, excuse me.
sort of part of the
But
kit.
the images are similar. And a matter of fact, since Dave said that, I have candles lit beside me, and one of the ways that the Egyptians would celebrate the solstices is that they would light a candle, and do other meditations and such. So, well, this is interesting because the card that was on the bottom of the deck, well, I should say, or the top, Chariot of Ascension. So here we are discussing ascension. Chariot of Ascension, spiritual work of the higher initiate. And so that is a message for you. Don't forget now, if you're hearing this and you're here viewing this is a message for you. And again, the Merkaba, you are your own chariot of ascension. You are your own chariot. And the spiritual work of the higher initiate, you are already and have already been doing the spiritual work. The rising sun, the next card, the rising sun. So, rising sun, the divine solar child reborn. No way. And this I've always loved. I always thought that this was an extremely powerful image. Whether it's it's the first image, of course, is our own rebirth, moment by moment by moment. Our own solar, our rising sun within us, our rebirth, the divine solar child reborn. And I believe that symbolizes all of us and the collective. And I've always loved the absolute power and yet, gentleness of that. And perhaps you're giving birth to something new, a new creative project, something new that you've discovered about yourself that you want to share with the world. Your own solstice, your own rising sun.
And a pretty cool thing is that when you're going on the spiritual journey, a lot of the stuff is really things happening in your head. Connections, your imagination, channeling. It's all, in essence, in your head. You have meditations. You might have dreams. What I find really fascinating, which seems to be increasing more and more, in that if you participate in a meditation together, some kind of spiritual journey, a lot of the things that the different people that are participating imagine and then describe are very, very, very similar. And when I look at these cards, for instance, I see some of these images, in this Isis deck, for instance, they all look familiar. And they're someone yesterday was describing Who was it?
And I'm sorry, I was thinking about Ra just a moment ago because that was what the celebration is to light the candle for the rising, the re-rising, the rebirth of Ra, their son, God.
I can't remember why it's slipping.
Oh, Anubis.
Anubis.
Yes, I was like,
Right.
sorry.
So someone was describing Anubis and drew some pictures.
And it actually looked
and
similar to one of them
even
in
this
here.
card,
What?
very similar to
Yes.
to the face on this card, and certainly many images in this book as well. Let me find one. This is not the
I
face.
saw one that was very
But yes.
similar to what she had drawn. She had seen the image.
And it's sort of, this is...
That's the card, large.
What's interesting is someone once described the idea of ascension, and everyone has their own way of the ascension, but as you ascend more and more, it's sort of like a triangle, and the information, the truth of it all,
that
seems to start to distill down to the same
one truth. That's a very good point. And we have a lot of pyramids around here too. There's one behind me. I don't know if you can see it, but and it's interesting because I turned to this page of symbols in my book, and this was on the full moon, I think, this year, but it was during a hangout, and the hangout was called "Every Child Matters." So it's interesting that the card that came up with the child. So these were the symbols that came through the day that they were doing light language and meditations with that intention about the every child matters. Which also, of course, it reminds me again of our stellar families, our star families, the hybrid children, those coming to interact with us and live with us here on Earth. Every child matters.
Here's another image.
It's hard to see because of the reflection, but is that the one? I wonder if that's the one. No, that's not the one I saw. But anyway, it was the picture of Anubis that was in here that she had drawn. It was very close as well. And then now I flip to the page where this was during a different event altogether, and I was getting images coming through, activating and connecting me with the seventh hybrid race. So I know this can get, if you're not familiar with this and all of this information about hybrid children and the hybrid races, perhaps this is something that you're being invited to open the door to. When we're talking about the integration of extraterrestrial life and our families and our also our galactic brothers and sisters across the stars, when we begin to interact with them, and we've also come to understand again through Bashar that this and through others, but the sixth hybrid race. And then ultimately becoming this entirely new race of beings that's never existed before. And so I've been very excited about whatever participation I may be having during that process, whatever that excitement is for me and Dave. So that's one of the things that I got excited about too, was about that idea of, literally the creation of an entire another race of beings was pretty exciting for me. So when we talk about rebirth and celebration on these celestial events, it brings that energy more into our collective consciousness. Are you looking at the Keepers of the Light?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, let's pull a Keepers of the Light card. Taking a drink of water here real quick. While Dave shuffles. And I've actually grabbed these decks. Oh, I hear puppy. So I'll pull one from each of these as well. Hi.
Went flying out.
Green Tara. So right away, of course, I'm like, whew, hard energy. Green Tara, supreme protection. You are protected. Cards are being cut. Okay, that's just funny. Okay. Cards are being cut. Move beyond limitations and trust. Really, the best answer, I can't even say that any better, really. But I'm laughing because Dave and I were just talking about oracle cards and creating cards and cutting cards and anyway, so. And here we are reading oracle cards too, so if you can see the image. And I just want to say, really, with respect to this idea, once again, supreme protection is always ours. It is always ours until we decide we need protection. So if you know in your heart and your soul that you're always protected, also, why do we feel we need protection, and from what? And that's a belief system to take a look at. When you always understand that you're always protected, there is no need for protection. Because the act of protection is the act of saying, I do not believe I'm always protected. And that's just the message I'm getting from that idea.
Yeah, and these are Keepers of the Light cards. Oh. And I'm just reminded also, certainly if you're watching this, you're all Keepers of the Light.
Oh, yes.
Some of us, as Cryan might say, are more old souls. I think that now, especially in this time of open contact becoming imminent and relatively soon, we're all asked to really shine our light as brightly as we can. It's, for generations, the Keepers of the Light have been hiding and waiting for the right moment. Well, I think this is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
It is a chateau.
Yeah, that's funny.
No way. Well, here we go, guys. Well, as we approach Christmas and Hanukkah, both fall on the same day. Master Jesus, forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. And I also see a lot of blue energy, throat chakra, third eye energy. But here we are, approaching these holy days. And we will begin to understand this being was more than what any of us really know completely. And of course, forgiveness is the main message here. It always is with that energy. And here we are, 33. We've just discussed today about the 1221, the 33, Christ consciousness. And it's interesting that being that Christmas and Hanukkah both fall on the same day, this idea, this human, represents just pure love, regardless of the religion. But isn't it interesting that it's still, we're reminded that...
And certainly oneness.
Yes,
and the
unity
idea
consciousness.
That we have two sort of similar religions coming back into oneness at the same time.
And isn't that the whole message of ascension? is unity consciousness, understanding that absolutely everything's connected, whether you're talking about it from a quantum physics and scientific standpoint, and we're looking for proof of that, but remember that's always going to be a reflection too. The proof is always a reflection, always. It's not. It's a reflection. So, but isn't that what this being represented? Unity consciousness, complete and utter acceptance, and complete forgiveness, complete belief that you are your own miracle. I am not a miracle. You are the one creating the miracle. Even he said that. You are the miracle. Your belief is your strength. It could also be our weakness. But that was his point too. Your belief is the strength. That's where the healing comes from. That's where the healing comes from, that we understand as healing. What a perfect card to pull. Wow. That was great. I've got the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck here. I don't know. I always feel good about sharing the deck because I like people to know what decks we're using, and just so in case you're interested and you like it, and or if the message really rung with you. Okay. Wow. Oh, this is also beautiful. Wow. I've never seen this card. And most of these cards, I have several decks, and of course I've never seen them all. Angel of Vision. Someone is not revealing part of the story. And I think that that's a whole global consciousness message right now. That's just what came to me first. Yeah. That's what came to me. Well, someone is not revealing part of the story. We already know that.
We're moving toward disclosure to the public. Now, obviously, everybody knows that aliens...
I'll show the card.
Everyone knows aliens exist.
But isn't that kind of like... this feels so angelic and so alien all at the same time. Someone... Trust your feelings over what others say. I think that's a great message no matter what we're talking about, whether it's trusting in angels, trusting in yourself, or trusting that disclosure is happening, that extraterrestrials already exist. And that and I'm thinking of Stephen Greer right now because, what he's involved in right now. And, someone's not revealing part of the story. Trust your feelings of what others say. I think he's a good example, regardless of whether you follow him or not. I think he's a really great example of that, of him really practicing that. So I just love this. I think that this is perfect for today, for the solstice. Your angels are going. It's like your angel, you have the vision already. You already contain that angel vision. And the other spot of she, the Kediavas body and Shanakilias body sinotua, Hanakila bespote vismasha, Alanina, Elibaroko de Vesmasete, Ishanakodianda Vespo, Alagina Tiki, Alakiteva, Sono Jushita Yala, Alakitea. Yeah, that's a great card. And the sun, I love it. The sun right in the middle. That is awesome. That's just awesome. How we doing on time? I was looking for the time on there. Because we also have to start our dinner. And this is the Secret Language of Light deck. Nalvimiala azunosho azimi sabashaniti avesma e koro maya laminaria kotovismaya. The whole purpose of our life is to discover more and more of all that we are. So when we're asking, what's your purpose? What's my place? What's my gifts? What are my abilities? These types of gatherings and information and light languages and light codes help us reveal to ourselves that more and more of all that we are. So it reveals what excites you and what doesn't. So today, I pulled that card again, number 14. Today equals 14. The card for today, alignment. So may we all feel aligned and in alignment with our highest selves, our star families, in alignment with our true beliefs. Levatia, Shanopriya, Ishana. That when we gather in these ways, that they are for the purpose of vision and alignment and self-love, self-exploration, understanding more and more of all that you are. Zimishara as an okoshiti, as an ateki ijanose. And of course, the heart is at the center. Nilia ejanokoti vismasata ejanokoti azanose aja tukonite visposo ujanokoti inakiti vispasha tuprishanutia alizinatia. Sebastiato. I'm trying to do two things at once.
Number 10, Soulcraft. I don't remember ever seeing that one before either.
Soulcraft.
An activating symbol.
Soulcraft.
Don't even know. I think we should.
Your soul is the craft in it. Your soul creates the craft in which you travel. That was like the message I just got. That your soul creates. Vivismashera kotiana, aji tuko zepespose ejenakotima levaspate, azanotube elejenikitia.
The thoughts, ideas, and topics you incessantly discuss are crafting your life, so focus on the ones that make your heart smile. You're ready to receive answers from your soul about any topics, thoughts, or ideas you want to change. Be wise in your crafting, and the path of least resistance will call you. Different soul vibrations will inspire different actions. If you're feeling tired, your inspired actions will be to rest or sleep. Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yes.
That sometimes your highest joy and excitement is to take a nap.
And Bashar was talking about the whole sleep thing with a questioner from the last the last event. So awesome.
If you're feeling love, you will be inspired to do things that emulate love in your day. We all sense with our soul, but often override it with the rational mind. Again, what we talked about yesterday. Your brain tries to convince you not to follow your heart. Trust in your soul. Trust your soul is bringing you the most up-to-date information. That sort of goes along with the Angel of Vision.
And this is up-to-date information from your soul. And once again, now I opened the Psychic Tarot deck, and at the top of the deck, truth, number 20. And isn't that really, at the end of the day, what we're all kind of looking for is the truth, our truth. What's the truth? It's all true. Everything's true. There's infinite number of parallel realities and an infinite number of universes. And the truth is, it's all true. It's all true. Anything that anybody can think of and imagine, it's all true. Because everything exists. And this is where we begin to understand, what is our truth? What's your truth? And there are as many truths as there are created beings. Created anything. Even a leaf of grass, a flower, everything has its own truth.
Yeah, that's why every single individual, it's proof that every single individual is worthy and valuable, because all things can't be all things without each and every one of you. And everyone has their own perspective, which contributes to all of the truths. And coming to acknowledge and appreciate the idea that everyone's truths are important and valuable, even if they don't necessarily need to be applied by you, and that your truth is your truth, and there's no need to impose your truth upon anyone else. You don't want somebody else to have the same exact truth as you, because then they're not individual valuable things.
And this actually, of course, this idea expands out to completely to the world, and our ideas. There's a fly in here, and our fly on the wall. Hello, and our idea of world peace will come from understanding that all truths are true. It's
the differences that we all have that make us more powerful collectively.
How are we doing on time? I don't know. I lost track again.
We'll pick.
We'll just pick another card.
We'll pick one I want to pick a dragon card.
Oh, and okay.
And we need a moon card.
And a moon card, yes. Ci sono che non posso spasha. E no kote vispa sara sinto koshana. Majo, I'll let you go first. I'll let you. Well, you know what I mean.
May I?
May I? Boy.
Isn't this fun?
I'm looking down. No way. There's 2 2s in a row. Huh.
How could there be 2
in this
2s?
deck? This deck actually has 2, and each card is different. 2 sets of numbers, but each of the numbers are different, which I found very interesting.
The dusky pink dragon from Andromeda.
Ooh.
Prepare all your chakras to embody higher love. Accept and radiate higher love. Touch others with its flame.
And that's what I think of when I think of pink, higher love. That's what I associate pink with, is higher love. That onto zovashanakile zemato ontoya avato ajanakiliendo vespasia sharakita.
Pink dragon. Oh, there's music coming from
the dragon.
From the dragon. The dragon's singing. Do I need to get the drum?
No. Well, if you want. I was going to say no, because mine's right behind me, I think. Oh, it's over here on this side.
Drum our way through the last card.
Oh, you got it already? Okay. Okay, what's the card? The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. Wasn't that? Yes. The last full moon that we just had was the full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. Awesome. I can't believe it. That was the last full moon. Libby Pasha and Teiki. Atiavasmoso, and you guys know how much I love synchronicity. I have too many decks open here. This is Moshiro Kotevasma. Okay. This is Maso Oshino Koteve. Madobote. Yeah, so a new romantic cycle begins. So, perhaps for some of you, if that was a question on your mind. And also, I'm reminded once again, you guys, the romantic cycle sometimes has to begin with you. Maybe it's falling in love with you. What can you do to be more romantic with yourself? I don't know, read poetry to yourself, light a candle, sit alone, take a bath, lay in the grass. I know it's whether or not where you are in the world. The asamasha tekilene tisana kondo sabashniti izana asatiya, and that's perfect balance. Nitizata ashirokorienda vaspate elinde. Sorry, I hate this glare on my glasses. It drives me crazy. But that's the first thing I thought of was the perfect balance comes from you falling in love with yourself, having a romantic relationship with yourself, whatever that means. And if you're a guy, what does that mean to you? Or maybe it's how can you be more romantic? And that goes for everybody. I don't say guys because I don't want to just say guys because it's all of us. How can we be more romantic? One of the ways that Dave and I like to be romantic is reading, like spiritual books. Yes, and that's one of the ways that we find that romantic. That's our romance.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
first thing in the morning, when or really any time of day, but we like to start our day that way if we can. So yeah, we do. We really find that romantic. So I like that. Okay, a new start is coming. Okay, I'm just going to end with this on that. I'm not going to end the anyway. So a new start is coming. And that is a beautiful message on this very powerful solstice today. So, and again, being 3, 3, and 8, the year being 8, I see 11 and 11. So that's kind of how I see that stuff too, in that way. Okay. And that was the Moonology deck. I forgot to show you guys. That's the Moonology deck. So Miata Vespe. I think the last one I'm going to pull is this Mashia from the conscious spirit, because we are, it's what we are. We are all conscious spirits. Some of these are upside down, so. That's the back. And of course the Merkaba in the middle, as above, so below. And I remind you too, that's your ascension. That's your ascension vessel, is your Merkaba. Vesmasha. Alizamoto Vesmasia, Ajanakoti Vesmasa, Alajanoko Kiala.
36.
Abundance. I am grateful for the abundance nature and the universe provide to me. I think that's just a beautiful, I think that's a beautiful segue into the exit of this. Oh, I have one more I wanted to bring. I forgot.
What was this? 36.
So this is number 36.
A 9.
However you want to look at it. The 333. Thank you for that. I'm grateful for the abundance nature and the universe provide in my life. Yeah, so let's all take a moment. Just simply breathe and be grateful for the abundance that nature and the universe bring into our lives. And even the circumstances that are challenging, because they are the gifts. They help us see our abundance. No way. You know what? I am not even gonna, it fell out. And so if you've watched some of my videos, our videos, you know that Dave and I have talked about this before. And this year of 2024 was very special to us, all of us in humanity. And I think it's very special. That's why I knew there was one more card. I could hear them. Our Native American guides, my Native American guides, and yours, if you will. This year, a white buffalo was born. And if anybody is familiar with the story, you understand that that is a beautiful, what do I want to say, symbol of the uniting of humanity, the white buffalo. And not only was there one white buffalo born at Yosemite here in the United States, but also another white buffalo born in the United States in Texas. And that is what I'm aware of, those two thus far. And there was a beautiful ceremony done by the Native Americans, and we have the tribes as they got together to name the white buffalo. And I believe it had to do with like pure rebirth. And I think I'm paraphrasing this, but I think that's an amazing reminder to all of us for this year in the celebration of the solstice, is the reminder that the white buffalo prophecy and the symbol of unity and all that story symbolizes. So if you're not familiar with the story, we invite you all to look it up and see what that means to you and what this means to all of us for humanity. So I was reminded as we are ending the year of 2024 that this was a miracle. And we come back to the very first card, miracles, because the Native American tribes, all of them, consider that a miracle. So isn't that interesting that we come full circle with the cards and celebrating the idea of the miracles that have been brought to us in 2024. And there was another card behind it, so Amalaktia Shanokote and nature spirits. Yata Izinashe. We are becoming and we will be able to connect more deeply and more consciously and more physically with the nature spirits. And perhaps it's the white buffalo that also helps bring that. It is the white buffalo woman, I'm corrected, that is bringing through that idea that as it was, she says, we're able to connect and speak to the nature spirits. You're learning, once again, to unlock that information within you, to speak to them. And she is the harbinger of that idea also in that energy. And I think with that, maybe we'll end with a little bit of drumming and a celebration to that idea and that energy.
More drumming.
Take a drink of water.
Me.
Where's my mallet? I think I left my mallet over there. That's okay.
Want your mallet?
If it's in there in the case. I was like, where did I leave it?
This one?
Thank you. Onaya ke shuna he ana he kuhute he mana he lalaki shinaya he laku he naya ke he laku nuha he naya la kerolo shuha Hinaya he tukere sota dere shotoba sonoha he shuha nuha he lakore shunuhua he ulalo Koshuna Inala Kisunaya Heyana Letuha Heyana Ketuha No Yale Laihi No Yala Henuha No Yana Hituni Utiasha Katiana Atokoa Nishini Kiata Samesea Anu Hale Elesena Atokayama Shato Ola Asian Kodime Atokihena Bisha Atokoriendava Noki Inda Sabati Inshana Naya Tokoa Hanibi Hawa Ime Haba Ateba Atoko Maya Ta Inemina Etokohaya Oshono Yea Alakote Ezomo Asokote de Onoma Lalelito Ashana Kilenda Base Katea Nadi Velato Bashana Atea Malaysia Covaliano Inasakwa Asomoto Vispaya Tendea Tashon Siato vashana gilana so tova elejono to guia les une pojere que sinitiara so otoja me tava sabasiara and as always our love and intention to allow all of this to invite you to allow acknowledge appreciate and allow all of the integration of any of this information as it serves you.
Thanks for joining us. We love you.
Yeah, to vesper. Shialia.
I love you.
Love you.